up in my mind, I manifest it. Every morning I wake up obsessed, and everything I do the best. And deep within my mind, you know I'll always manifest it.
All right. Welcome in. We'll do a little roll call. Truth in the background, Montreux Strange. Millie, hello. Hey, Al. Friends with Monsters was here. Scared Silly. Let me see who else. I gotta go back because my memory's shot. Randy, hello. Tracy, good to see you guys. Welcome in. John P, what's up, buddy? So, as you guys know, we got Mike Paterson here tonight. Jane, hello, how are you? Good to see you. It's been a little while. He's always busy, keeping busy, so we appreciate when he comes by. Most of you know he had a big part in me and my journey. If you don't, we'll talk about that another day because it's not about me tonight. Well, a little bit. This is a little bit about us. I want to stop real quick and say, Sherry, hello, how are you? Alan, what's up, buddy? I want to say thank you. We just hit 25,000 subscribers. I was literally joking. I'm like, oh, maybe we'll hit 25K by my birthday. Just joking. Like, just thinking, cool. Like, if it happens, it happens. But it did. And my birthday is Saturday. That was one thing I wanted to say. And we will talk about that more. DHP, what's up, my brother? We'll talk about that more. I'll do more of like an appreciation thing for you guys. I have an announcement to make, and I really wanted to have Mike here. So to do it. So I'm not going to hold him up too much longer because you guys hear me all the time. Stargazer, hello. Oh, I forgot. I'm sorry. I forgot I can click on the comments, guys. My bad. All right, let's pull him up. Hey, brother, how are you?
All right. How's it going, man?
Good to see you.
Hey, everybody.
So, what's new with you? Anything? How's everything going?
Well, well, you know me, man. I've never stopped, right? So
yeah.
Always keeping busy. Every visit since day one, it's never stopped.
Though, see, like you always gave me a lot of inspiration too with the winter, because I had a lot of places I would hear like always people say like, oh, winter, everything slows down and it stops, and and I always said to myself, I don't know about that, I don't know, and it didn't for me, and I know it doesn't for you, obviously, right? Because
never.
It's almost like more fun for you, I think, because like there's tracks in the snow like everywhere you look, you know what I mean?
Well, this is the thing, right? Why we love the winter for a couple of reasons. We can see if anybody's stalking us, and
Right.
it still goes on. Haven't really seen it more recently, which is good. Maybe they're finally getting fed up, because the activity is very directed, right? There can be neighbors, people around, and they won't know anything. Whatever,
Yes.
listen to our conversations, but
I know exactly what you mean.
And of course, because they leave us prints. So it was a more recent visit where I had I haven't shown this footage behind closed doors yet, but I had gotten to Dwayne's cottage. I think he got there about 20 minutes or so before me. So he's indoors stoking the wood stove. There's no heat in the winter, right? So, I mean, no water running, so water shut off in the winter, but so we got to get the place heated up. So he's indoors, and first thing I do when I pull in is I get out and I look for prints in the snow, because often there's one waiting for me.
Yeah.
Just happened, that sort of thing. So this particular visit, there was nothing there. I looked, scoured. So I grabbed some stuff out of my vehicle and making my way up the path to the front door. You know, I'm very aware if there's any prints around. And as I'm going up the steps, I hear wood knock from maybe I don't know, 50, 100 feet away from me. It's close,
Yeah.
and it wasn't very loud, but it was distinct, clear. Just a single. So I pop my head in the door, put my stuff down. Hey, Dwayne, how's it going, man? Just heard a wood knock, and talk to him for a couple seconds, and I go back out the door, and there's some stairs there. So I get to the top of the stairs, and I'm about to walk down, and I look bottom of the stairs right there. There's 10 footprints circling a tree. They just happened. They're seconds old. This was the wood knock. Hey, Mike, here's some footprints for you. They weren't the biggest prints, but probably close to size of my foot, but distinctly different, right?
Well, I don't think
And
I don't think any of us know many people that walk barefoot in the snow.
um, I tend to put my prints beside theirs. I'll take my boot and sock off to just show the difference, right? I do that often.
Sure. Yeah.
And yeah, I took some good footage. I got right down there, and you can see hair in the prints, and it's very
Oh,
it's
that's
it's very
cool.
distinct, right? So it was really really nice trackway of prints that they gave. It was later on that night. Geez, I think it was so late. It was probably about 4:30 in the morning. I was too tired. I got a few beers in me, and we'll sit at the table all night having discussions and having a few drinks, and this is our routine basically, right? And we went out later, and I didn't even go get my video camera inside. I just used my phone. I didn't even get a tape measure because I'd asked to see an adult print, and we got one like really late. And it was probably, I would say it was probably close to 20 inches, 19, somewhere around there, but it was a lot slimmer. We think it was possibly the mother. We don't know, right?
Yeah.
We didn't really recognize the print. So,
It
um,
seems like there's something. Is it fair to say it seems like there's something with the females and the young ones? Like, um, maybe like I don't know if they hit a certain age or whatever, but it seems like they kind of keep them away, like for the most part, right? Like, is that is that
but
something you see too, or no?
um, it's more, I think, the males, but we do get incidents where, but it's hard to tell sometimes. Like it was last winter, we stepped outside. Like we're surrounded by woods there, but we're not in the woods. It's everywhere, but
Yeah.
we're just basically on the driveway. We don't have to go up into the woods. We never, it's all right there, right?
Yeah.
Much of the activity is indoors, right? So
Right.
we'll come out. We'll be putting our shoes and boots on, whatever, to come outside to see if there's any prints or activity, and um, we'll be getting marbles out of thin air, stuff going on as we're getting ready to go outside. They're right there indoors with us. A lot of people have a difficult time comprehending indoor activity, but
Right.
it's absolutely insane. So
Yeah.
we went outside. I'm scouring for prints. There was nothing, and we're about to go back inside, turn around, and I swing around and take one more quick look, and suddenly, boom! There's a footprint just appeared, and they haven't shown me it being made yet, but I've seen them where they're literally just seconds old.
Yeah.
So I'm sitting there documenting that one print, and suddenly I think it was three, four, five more prints, and I think it was from three different individuals, and it felt like to us that it was from the girls, basically.
Okay.
They were small prints, and there we're getting marbles at the same time. I'm being hit with marbles while I'm sitting here documenting and filming these prints that, like, the one appeared, there was no others, and as I'm filming that, suddenly there's a whole bunch of other ones, right there. And it's funny how you miss them. They're very good at doing things um, behind your back, I guess, right?
Yeah, well, there, everybody. I think a lot of people have trouble when there's no like specific answer to things. Like, there's no like way to explain it, right? But I simply think like we don't know, like, right? If it happens inside the cabin, that next dimension over, there may be no cabin there. You know what I mean? Like, we don't necessarily know for sure. But I've had the indoor activity happen too. Um, I think I called you first before I spoke to anybody because um I had a dongle for my Xbox that like goes in for the headphones. It's and I come back home and I realize I left it up at the hotel about 150 miles away. And I did everything humanly possible. I tried to buy a new one. I tried to replace it. I tried to do everything under the sun all day long. And at the end of that day, I came back and I literally like I gave up. I said, "Well, all right, well that's it." And I could remember exactly where I left it. And maybe if it didn't fall right past my eyeballs from up here, if it didn't fall in front of my face, I might have thought, oh, it just was sitting there the whole time and it fell on the floor at my feet. But I mean, it literally dropped right past my eyes and hit me on the toe. And so I that I've had those things happen where things appear and like there's that indoor activity, but that was the first time I placed my eyes on the object, dropping.
Yeah, they have their way of making sure that it's them, that they will dismiss. So they'll make it so you can't dismiss it, so it's them, right? So I actually had an incident it was last week over a friend's place, and I lived there before here. He's a good friend of mine. He's actually my bass player. I jam with him, right? And him and his girlfriend's on the drums. She's so the three of us were downstairs in the basement. We're playing. We're taking a break. Standing there having a discussion. I have a guitar cabinet against the wall on my left side there, and that's where I'll put a beer and I'll put a pick, my guitar pick, when it's finished, or when I'm taking a break. Um, when I put my guitar in my case, I put my pick, I weave it in my strings always. When I pulled my guitar out of my case that night, my pick was in my strings as usual. Take my guitar out, close the latches on my case. I stand it up against the wall in between two guitar cabs, right next to the one where I put my beer and put my pick on when I'm
Yeah.
between jamming, right? So we're standing there talking, and suddenly my ears have been trained very well dealing with this subject, over the years and listening to so much audio, and I'm really good at picking stuff out, right?
Yeah.
But they heard it too. So the pick drops and I hear it hit the floor, and I'm on it instantly because there was nothing there to do that.
Yeah.
It wasn't hanging off the cab where it's going to fall. There's no vibration going on. I don't even play through that guitar cab. I play through another one, so there's no vibration. I even got my buddy Larry to hit a bass string. And we're cranked down there. He's playing through a big SVT Ampeg. These are these are concert amps from the 70s we play through, right? But he hits a bass string and it basically rattles the room. That pick doesn't move. I just did that just for the hell of it, even though it happened when there was no sound going on.
Yeah.
So I took a flashlight and I scoured everywhere looking for that pick. I could not find it.
Wow.
So I was like, okay, first it fell by itself. Now I can't find it anywhere. And then, so he gives me another pick to use. And later on, when I went to put my guitar away, pop my case open, there's a pick sitting in my case that I know I would have saw when I pulled my guitar out. It's right there. It's in my face, kind of thing, right?
That's
But
crazy.
yeah, so the pick disappeared, and then it showed up. I'm pretty sure it was the same one that fell.
Yeah.
Um,
Well,
yeah, we had a visitor there. So let me just explain one more thing too. There was another incident there. I have a wah pedal that again we were jamming, and this pedal has a thing that goes up and down, right? Um, we'd stepped outside. We came back in, or we went upstairs. I can't remember, but we stepped away for a few minutes. We come back, and the part underneath the pedal, that the part that goes like that, it's underneath it. There's a piece of maybe about the size of a quarter, maybe a little bigger, piece of cedar, green cedar, um, sitting on the pedal, placed so I could not dismiss it as it maybe being stuck to my foot,
right.
my shoe. It would not be where it was placed. It was basically impossible. So that they'll do things that, it's like, okay, well, that's impossible. It wouldn't have, what I'm saying? So
Yeah. Yeah, you kind of like that's why I always say it's so important to remember what happens in that initial moment because like I mean, people like yourself have experienced so much that like, it's just fun. Like it's just fun and exciting and it's them. And like I remember somebody said it to me when I first started, when it's them, you'll just know. And I was like, it sounded very like Yoda like to me, like I was just like, all right, like just a young Padawan, like didn't know anything. And like but it's true, like when it's them, and like you said like a minute ago, they always will like make sure that it's them or like undoubtedly or even do a follow-up thing sometimes like because even still today and I hate that I do it but I guess it's just human nature in me sometimes I explain things away and I do it that's why I'm like I try to practice what I preach but then they'll come and do like something else that's like no hey, like hey dummy like you know what I mean like and it's something else that's like unexplainable.
yeah, like I had that incident with the avocado skin out the back door with my little compost container, which I leave outside the door, bottom of the steps, outside here, and it's never been, nothing's ever gotten into it, not
Right, right.
once. It's never been made a mess of. And I remember I went and I stepped outside, and there's an avocado skin sitting right in the middle of the concrete pad where I step out the door, and I'm like, what the hell's that doing there? And the lid's closed. It's like that doesn't make any sense. So I throw it back in there. I come back indoors, and I just kind of dismiss it. And then when I go back outside again, this was in the summer. So my winter boots are now sitting in the middle, right in front of the door on the mat. They were tucked. They were put away for the summer. They were still there, but they were tucked against the wall underneath the shoe rack thing.
Right, you knew where
Now
they
they're
were at.
sitting right in the middle. It's like, no, Mike, it's us, right? Just like
Yeah,
like you said, to do a follow up thing. So
it's amazing. It really is amazing. It's little things that you'll notice, right? Like, like you were saying earlier, like you're in the woods and like, but the neighbors don't notice. Like, I mean, I've had stuff happen in the suburbs, and it's like they just come and go like the wind. It's just if they don't want you to know they're there, you'll never know. But if they want you to, it's like so like you're so deep rooted connected type of connected to it like it's amazing so it's been fun. I never thought I was gonna when I first found you like your stuff we've talked about this a lot but I would go out and like look at other stuff but I would always come back to the speaking of Sasquatch and I'll always come back to it and I didn't necessarily know what was happening at the time, but I was being like guided back to it, like, "Hey, dummy, like over here." You know what I mean? Like, it's stop going that way. Stop. Don't you don't need to be over there. Like, um,
yeah,
so
there's a lot of people involved in this subject. I see still that sometimes I go into these Facebook groups, these big, large groups that have tens of thousands of people in it. And I make a post knowing that I'm just going to get slammed. I do it anyways,
Right.
so even if I can wake up just one person, it's okay. And
Yeah.
also it's a test for me to see how much I've grown to just ignore all the bullshit that gets thrown at me, right?
Oh, that's right.
I'll go into camping groups and Ontario camping groups, that sort of thing, and I'll make these posts, and the closed minds are ridiculous. It's insane how many minds are closed, right? But I still do it, and there's always people that have an interest. Always, there's always somebody, right? And these large Bigfoot groups too. I just have to laugh. They're still playing this. Do they exist? And I'm like, hey man, here you go. Here's some answers for you, but most of them are just they don't.
I get it. Trust me, I get it. It's tough. So I mean, it's tough at first, and then you learn that like it's gonna happen no matter what you do. No matter what you do. Like, so why not just roll with it, right? But I mean, like you said, like you'd like to see how much you've grown. At some point you just have to accept the fact that it's just the way it is, right? Like, you got to just kind of stay on your path and do your, stay true to your journey and do your thing. And I try to remember also like that I was that way, maybe, but not even like 5, 6 years ago, whatever. I was that way, like walking around with my head up my ass, had no idea anything was anything. If somebody talked to me about something like spiritual or whatever, I would just be like, jerk off. You know what I mean? Like, that was the way it was. Like, I just didn't know any better. So like you said, if you could wake up one person, then great. It's worth it.
I've had stuff going on since the crib, basically, right? I've always had I think, strong intuitive skills. I've always known this system was completely corrupt and bullshit, and I grew up like I was a little shit. I was a rebellious kid, and now I'm a rebellious adult. um, but I'm a lot wiser, and a lot more knowledgeable. But still, hey, I know nothing really compared to what's going on out there
Right.
with as far as interdimensional nature. Who knows what's out there? There's more than Sasquatch out there, that's for sure.
Yeah.
Um,
Jennifer Paterson, thank you so much for that. Appreciate you.
so it was more recently too. Dwayne actually, after 10 years, geez, he allowed me to invite my nephew in. He's a good kid. He's 33. He's
Wow.
So we brought him in, and it wasn't as much as I hoped. There was still a lot that happened.
Sure.
I had hoped for physical contact. That he didn't get that. I did. And I had hoped for an adult print, which didn't happen. There was one juvenile print put beside my car, and marks on my windows with hair markings. Numerous marbles out of thin air indoors happened. There was a distant vocal. I'm quite confident it's Neff's voice. At one point, my nephew, when you're moving around outside, it muffles the sounds, right? Especially if they're distant. So which is why I love using audio. So I managed to capture that distant vocal. It was a bit distant, but you can still make it out. And
yeah, I mean, I could totally relate. I can't wait till my kids get old enough to like where they want to go. You know what I mean? Like mine are still really young, and I have an 8-year-old who's way bigger than he looks way bigger than he is. So I forget sometimes that he's young still. But yeah, I'm looking forward to that day they want to go and start to experience things and check things out and go camping, and things to that effect, you know. So that's really exciting. That's super exciting.
Yeah, it's good to get the young folks involved in this, younger demographic, and get them interested in the woods, get their faces out of their phones. Um,
No doubt.
it's so yeah, the visit with my nephew is funny because I told him about the magic mushrooms, and so he had a bag left over, so he brought some, and I had some that somebody gave me too. So I had a couple of baggies of magic mushrooms, and told
That's,
him about Nin Yan, and I'm I've probably given him over 30 grams now at this point. Over, I don't even know how many, maybe a dozen visits now. I don't know. I don't count, right? But he's a little mushroom freak, man, and
I
I gift indoors. He's taking them right out of my bag
right, which is
before.
the part that I think is so funny is like he didn't leave it to chance that you might give him half the bag or something. He took it from you that time.
No, it was for him, But
Yeah,
so when we went there with my nephew, so I took 2 bags. I put them at the end of the counter in the kitchen. They were gone within an hour.
that's
Um,
awesome.
and they know how to manipulate our electronics, and I'm talking all of them. There's some stuff that gets so crazy, and you listen to what I already talk about, right? And some stuff I'm just like, yeah, I don't want to talk about it because it's just too much, right? If you tell somebody a Sasquatch knows how to use a phone, yeah, okay.
I know. Yeah, you have to kind of get balance like what what point people are at. You know what I mean? And that sucks sometimes, but it is what it is. That's where I'm at anyway, right? Like on a person, like I don't, and I know it sounds like rude, maybe a little mean, but like I don't want to waste my damn time. Like if I feel like I'm just gonna go and talk to somebody about something and it's gonna go nowhere, I'd rather invest that in somebody who, and it doesn't matter what level they're on as long as they're open to it and like, willing to receive a little bit of high strangeness because that's really the route it goes down.
We've had phone incidents happen on location between our phones, like where we see it happen, right?
Hmm. Yeah,
Um,
we have.
but
There's somebody in my chat that had to happen. We were in the field, and we see something we can't really explain, and then as soon as just almost as soon as we were trying to process it, it wasn't there, and then like okay, well, was that something, and then this something appeared, and it was like beeping, and it was like a dead like some kind of like tag that you would put like to your iPhone or whatever. I don't know. And like it was like dead and wet and old and but it was like all of a sudden it started beeping. Next thing you know, his phone gets like this like grid in it. Like, and he's filming and all of a sudden this like grid pops up. And like as soon as it pops up, it's gone within a second, but it was almost like they were showing him like something. And there's more to it, obviously, as you further process and get more info from them. But it was just really cool to see it happen to somebody else that was next to me. I was like, oh yes, like yeah. And then
yeah,
pretty much instantaneously after that, there was like this. It sounded like there was an African lion up on the hill. Like it was just like it was like excitement. It was this deep guttural excitement. Like
yeah, I love their voice. It was years back that the phone thing just started. It was when it kind of just started happening, right? And I'd made a joke about um, watch next they'll be leaving me a voice message. I was just 100% joking, and that's what happened on the way home. I've told this story before where my phone didn't ring. I just kind of looked down at my seat and I see the light flashing. It hadn't rung, and there was no information. It didn't say private number. It didn't. There was nothing, which I've never ever had happen before or since. There was no information with it, and so I played the voicemail, and it's one of their vocalizations, just this long drawn out vocal. And I'm on the phone right away to Dwayne telling him what just happened. We're both driving home separately in our vehicles, right? And since then, the phone thing's become a bit more regular. It's to a point now where it's in my pocket. They could probably, I'm sure they can do while it's in my pocket too. But I've had my phone hijacked. I'm quite confident it's Ninyanin, because he's a lot more of a, I don't know, I guess, troublemaker, prankster than Neff was, and we really got to
Yeah.
watch ourselves around him. Soaking my chair. He even put my audio recorder. He dipped it in the bucket of water.
Right.
Basically, this was 3 visits in a row, not the dipping, but 3 visits in a row. They showed me, okay, no more recording indoors. So I don't record indoors anymore. After it was like, okay, first time it was pull the batteries, wipe the files. The file size is still there, but it's flatline. There's nothing there. And then the next one, the same thing, pulled the batteries. It's like, okay, that's 2 visits in a row. Third time, dunk it in water. Didn't ruin it, thankfully. But it was like, okay, all right, I get the picture. And this happened after the incident with Neff vocalizing when we were watching that video with the Motorhead thing that I have it, that indoor activity video I have on my thing where I captured Neff's voice indoors, right? And Ninyanin's actually shortly after that. So the two of them vocalized, which was pretty amazing. But so yeah, 3 visits in a row. They've shown me, we don't want you recording indoors anymore. And say, okay, all right, no problem. I still capture indoor sounds from outside, so that's cool. But yeah, the phone thing. So my phone's been hijacked, and I've had to do some explaining because there's been some rude texts
I
sent out.
remember.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they don't hold back, right?
Yeah.
They do not hold
No.
back. They
There's
they
no
don't have
sugar.
human construct. They'll drop F-bombs. There's no problem with that. They don't look at it the same way we do, right?
No, no. That was something I worked on. I was like, oh, I'm probably like offending them, like, because I have such like a, gritty, like military slash like New York mouth, and like it was like, no, like you're good. Like we'll we'll meet you right there. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it doesn't
Like,
matter.
yeah, we'll meet you right there. You're good. Like it's about your heart. It has nothing to do with your mouth or where none of that. None of it matters. Like and you've been saying that since day one, and it's like such a simple formula. And yeah,
Yeah, they don't judge us that way, right? Not at all. Like I've recorded Neff dropping F-bombs, and you know,
I love it.
so it's but yeah, just to get back to the phone thing, it's something I've learned they they're they're very good at, and I think it's very simple for them to manipulate our electronics. I've been given so many images on the cameras, these little short clips on the video cameras, the phone manipulation, the audio manipulation, eh, all of it. There's stuff that's happened on the computer. I remember way back doing a interview with Carrie Arnold on the Bigfoot Odyssey, and there was 2 incidents, and it's online. You can hear them. There's 2 incidents
I
in
remember.
that interview, and I put money on it that's them vocalizing.
Yeah.
I'm telling 2 different stories, and they vocalize both times, right? At a certain point.
I remember. I think they were trying to, I love Kerry, like I love him, but we didn't meet on a lot of things, right? Like, and he was working towards it. If he was open, but he was closed to some stuff. Like he just wasn't fully open, right? And like he was my brother, but we just didn't. he was behind, right? He was so invested in it, but he was a little behind on a lot of things. And I anyway, I do believe, like, I talked to him about that specific show. I said, Kerry, that's, like, that didn't just happen then and there for no reason. Like, there's a reason for why it happened when Mike was there with you. And you know I actually had that discussion with him. I remember it was a few years back, probably like 3 years ago, right?
Probably more than that at
Yeah.
this point.
Oh,
Um,
was that the one when Ryan was with you, Ryan Rush, or I can't remember.
uh,
It was a while back though.
yeah, I think so. I think so. I think so. Yeah. I only did it once with him, right? So
Okay, yeah. Yeah.
yeah, I think it was Ryan. Yeah.
Frosted
I
Farce.
haven't talked to him in ages. Yeah, he's a good
Yeah.
guy.
I try to keep up with him.
Um,
Tina, how are you? Anita, hello. Welcome in. Um I do want to make an announcement.
oh yeah, you want to do that? Go ahead.
Jane, I don't. You could answer if you want.
Um, I've reached out to Steve. He's backed me up a couple times in his videos. I've reached out to him, tried to see if he wanted to have this. No response. At this point, I don't watch him, but at this point, I hear that it's a lot of fear-based monster kind of mentality going on in that channel, and that's not what I'm what I've experienced anyways. 15 years doing this, probably a little more now, and um, I've had experiences in multiple locations over the years, and never any malevolence shown towards me. Some of the activity is it's hardcore. Trees being pushed over, bangs really close to you, and scare the shit out of a lot of people. But it's not malevolent activity. It's just a matter of understanding their behavior, right? So I haven't really, like I said, I've reached out to him, but he's never gotten back to me really. So I remember he mentioned about the knife incident. I listened to that because somebody had told me about it. So I watched that where the knife had disappeared and then it showed up in his bag. And he's like asking for an answer, looking for an answer. And it's like, hey, I got the answer, man. And I reached out to him. I said, hey, you want to talk about that? I got the answer for you. But
Right.
I never heard back from him. So
Yeah,
it's all good.
it's a process for some people, right? And I don't know. I've never spoken to him either, so I don't know. So Keely, I don't want to put Keely on hold there, dude. Do you think there could be Sasquatch in Ireland? You're pretty much one of the most perfect people to answer this question.
Yeah, I don't see why not.
Right.
So I had there's a lady, Bridget Barclay. She's a UFO contactee, and she's out in England. She's
Mhm.
been doing this stuff for a while. She's spoken at conferences and that. She's well respected. I've done a couple of interviews with her, and at one point, she had marbles show up it was in her makeup bag or something, and some weird wet prints on her garage floor that they didn't look like real prints, but that doesn't really mean anything. I've had fake footprints, fake handprints put on my car or on the snow, and but activity has shown up. I've dealt with some people over the phone in another country, and suddenly things start happening to them. It's like we're being listened to, watched, whatever. I don't think there is any barrier with them that they can go absolutely anywhere they want to go.
Yeah.
Maybe I would think certain places they might avoid. Maybe inside certain military installations or something. And who knows what type of technology they have to search for them at this point. But I don't think there is um, anywhere that they can't go, really.
Sure. Yeah. I mean, I'm on an island here too, and like that's been like one of the biggest things I've had to get over myself and then put out there is why are they, or how are they in this populated area, with I mean, don't get me wrong, there's a lot of woods out where I'm at, but like even still, it's like there's society's right outside of it. You're never more than a few miles in, and that's about it. So it was something that I had to learn, and
My first close vocal encounter was basically the top end of Toronto,
right,
and
it's
you know
crazy.
it's it was in the woods, but
Yeah,
those woods are surrounded by residential bordering that area. There, I think a couple hundred hectares, a square concession area of woods, and there's a bunch of them around there, and yeah, that's where my life changed, and I was like, what the hell, man? Sasquatch here? I would have never thought in a million years.
bro,
And then activity used to follow me home. I lived in the West End, right in the thick of the city, and activity would follow me home. So Neff was basically coming to Toronto after a visit, following me and showing up at my place. And
yeah.
marbles would keep showing up in my bag. I would be checking my bags when I got home. I'd pull everything in thoroughly, and I'd find marbles, put everything away, and I'd look next day and the next day and the next day. Marbles would keep showing up. There was many incidents that happened when I was there. Yeah, so it doesn't matter where you go.
Yeah, yeah. That's pretty much what I knew you'd pretty much answer it better than I could, so pretty much was gonna say the same thing with with less eloquency. So less eloquent. I don't know if eloquency is a word. Tina, thank you so much. Truth is in the background. Thank you as well. I know I kind of just said I don't know if I said anything, but I signed to you. Yeah, Swan Lake Bigfoot is a good guy. Very good guy. Very dedicated guy. Um, Mike LAB, be on the lookout for more marbles. Okay, we got a cache of marbles. All right, I do want to make this announcement before I keep forgetting. So, something that you did, I don't know if a lot of people know about it, right? But something you did recently was well, or Dwayne, right? Uh, he decided to get he didn't really want to keep his casts of Neff and all them, right? So I don't want to put words in your mouth, but right.
Yeah, he basically let his cast collection go. His original cast that these are not they're not copies.
Right.
The ones that were given away, they were well, not given away. They were auctioned off, and
Right, which I thought was
uh,
amazing because, like, honestly, like at the auction, I mean, it's a stand up way to do it because you leave people open to, just kind of bid, right? Like it made it possible for me to get one, like for a reasonable price, which
yeah,
was
there
amazing.
was no reserve put on anything. It was just
Yeah,
put it on there, and
right.
um, it was a bit of a pain in the ass
I'm sure it
to
was.
do all this, and I'm going back and forth to the post office, and it's like half an hour away from me, right? And it just yeah, I wouldn't want to do it again. I'll tell you that.
I don't blame you, bro. I'm a spaz with the post office and all that stuff too. I'm always behind. But anyway, guys, so I did get this original Sasquatch cast of one of Neff's family, and Mike actually signed it, which I thought was awesome. October 2012. It came with a
And the signature thing, that's not an ego thing. I just figure people
no,
would
I
would
want
rather would rather have that,
I'm
right?
glad you
So
did it. Yeah.
just
And then like you put a certificate of authenticity in there,
yeah,
which
I got that.
I thought was awesome. Thank you. And then you added in two marbles, which you didn't have to do, which was awesome. So thank you so much. From Ness family. and then
and I did that. I gave everybody marbles with the cast. That was a surprise, really. So
yeah, it was amazing. And then I had said something to you about like, oh, down the line I want to get one of the one of the replicas of Nefertiti's foot, and then you just gave me one. So thank you. I appreciate that as well. So I
that's for all the help you've given me over
well, we do
the
it for
years,
each other,
right?
right? But
So
I appreciate that. Thank you so much. So I've been literally sitting with this for a little while now, guys. And I wanted to have Mike on here, and he responded pretty much right away to to get here so we could do this announcement. And I'm very excited to have a piece of this history. So thank you. Appreciate you guys both. So
all good, all good. I hope at some point to get a really good uh, cast of Neff's foot that I can make another mold from, with his more adult size. I just want to say this too. So that picture you have, advertising this tonight,
yeah,
that was in April of 23, right? And so last year, it was the last of the snow of the year. So the snow wasn't very good, and
right.
it was gone next visit. So it was the last chance sort of thing, and he left it. He gave that, and that's the night he gave that selfie as well, right? So he gave his print, and that measured out at 18 inches. Um, so I've seen a print this year, which I don't know, but I'm pretty sure it was from Neff, and again, it was closer to 16. It was more, the snow was wet, but it was still able to give more definition as for a proper length and width. Whereas that other one, the snow wasn't so great, but it looked like it was 18, but I think it's still probably closer to 16. So, because I've been saying I've documented 6 inches of growth on his foot over 10 years, I think
Right.
it's still probably closer to 4, maybe 4 and a bit
So you think,
over
yeah,
10.
it could get. I'm sure it could get confusing about whose foot it is, right? Like, I mean,
Sometimes I get confirmation.
right? Yeah,
But yeah, it comes down to that substrate too, and temperatures and to get proper measurements. So I think it's probably still closer to 16, although I'm not 100% yet. If the one that I saw so far this year, I think it was just about 16, maybe slightly over. If that was Neff's, I think it probably was, but I didn't have that confirmed, right? So my thought is it's not 18, it's still probably closer to 16.
it's awesome.
I keep it real. I always have. I don't embellish. You don't have to with this.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah. Like I get a lot of certain things, and I've been traveling up to the mountains because just I love it, right? Like, and I've been going to these remote places and trying to place myself on these private properties where there's known activity and whatever. Like, I just put myself out. They enjoy it too because like whatever. Like, there's nobody up there, right? Like in the winter, as you know, like it's almost like it turns into a ghost town, right? In a lot of these like cabins and different places, it's just like dead silent out there. It's awesome. So long story short, I said, like I don't get a lot of audio, right? Like, because you can't just be out there screaming and da 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 here in the suburbs. So like I'd like some good audio or maybe a footprint. Just I don't ask for much ever, but like if you could give me one of the two, like that'd be great. So I was sitting around with my casting stuff, and I'm like, maybe this will be the time, maybe this will be the one, and I wasn't, and that's what I was really hoping for. But the audio was like so rewarding, like it was just so rewarding and like heartwarming, and like just the fact that they took the time to come and stop by little old me was like you know what I mean, right? Like you can't take it for granted necessarily, no matter how
no,
much.
not at all. And they know. They know.
Oh shit, yeah, they know, no
They're
doubt.
very giving. They're very giving. But it's funny a lot of the times if you really want something and you're asking for it, we're not going to give it to you. Not this time.
I was getting prints, Mike, all the time. I mean, like not all the time, but I was seeing good ones to the point where I took it for granted almost, right? Like, but I was like, oh, there'll be another one. There'll be another one. The day I went and bought that plaster was the day I was lugging that shit around, thinking I'm gonna get. A year later, I stopped carrying it. I said, all right, like I get it. Like I get it. It's on your terms. I'm I'm not coming out here with no preconceived ideas or, none of it. Like whatever happens, happens. Like I'll just,
Yeah.
you know,
I'm fortunate that I don't have to lug that shit around in the woods because it's got weight to it, and
it does.
I just throw it in my trunk and
Well,
it's all
like
right.
I don't go far here. Like I don't have to go far. But when I travel, I like to. That's the whole idea of it, right? Like it's like I don't have to move around all over the place, but I enjoy it. Like that's like the way I hike and move around and I look for waterfalls or different scenic things. That's just me doing like a little checklist for my own like hobby list.
They like to see us out in nature, enjoying nature, right?
No doubt.
I've had that shown to me numerous times.
Don't hold back, Tim. Yes, blank slate, right. Every single time I go out there as a blank slate and they just say, hey, I'm here. And I try to vibrate at that frequency so they can, like, we talk about all the time, like a walkie talkie, they could tune into me if they want to. But hey, guys, here I am, whatever you want to give me today, universe, Sasquatch, Mother Nature, elementals, whatever. I'm here for it.
One of my favorite things obviously is hearing their voice. I will never tire of hearing that, right? It's I hope to hear a massive roar again at one point at a much closer range than I've documented. Just to experience that, might scare the shit out of me, but still, even with all this activity that I've experienced, there can still be things happen that I'm sure can, you know, maybe scare you. I don't know.
Shit, I mean, of course, right? There's no I guess it's really when it's dark, right? Like I don't care how much I do it. It's like it just sometimes when there's that movement in the darkness and you just don't know what it is. Even if I'm connected and I'm like, "Oh, that's them," like s there's like a small piece of me that's like, "Shit." Like what if that's, something else? And like that's the only real like fear I have is what the hell is out there? Like what's just right out there?
Yeah. No, same here, especially when it's large and you hear that movement.
Yeah.
Is that a bear? Is that a cougar? Is that a moose? What is that?
Yeah. Eye shine doesn't always help because it's like, well, shit, all right. Like I start going through the gambit of like the colors of eye shine to what, animals like, you know what I mean? It's
Yeah, it's I have my tent spot, and when in the off season I call it, which is the nicer weather, really,
right.
and a lot of the time the mosquitoes are really bad, so certain times of year I pretty much avoid you know, the, not avoid the woods, but it's different from where I go up in Neff's area compared to down here. You still get mosquitoes and all that down here, but up there, man, it's thick at certain points. It's thick. Like I've even gone in with mosquito head net and still had to run out of there. It was just that bad. Um, I I hope to get in there a lot more this year, though. I still want to maybe get small groups together, and I got a couple spots that I can go, and
It'd be great.
even I'm sure some people would like to just do that, just to hang out for a couple of nights.
Yeah. I
There's
mean,
never any guarantee. I never expect anything to happen, and it's a matter too of understanding Sasquatch activity. For the most part, there's nothing. And then suddenly, something might happen. It's over like that, right? That might happen a couple, 2, 3 times in a night if you're lucky, um, or more. And it's, with Dwayne and myself, sometimes we get things happen right away. Oh, sorry.
All right.
I got to take this. This is
Yeah.
hold on.
Sorry, bro. Do your thing.
Yeah, can you just
Yes.
sorry, just be a second here.
All right. All right, guys. I'm gonna give him a minute and give him some privacy. So yeah, Elena, yes. The coyotes, we heard that guttural whatever, I believe it was Sasquatch, obviously. It was I heard it and then I called her out and then she was hearing coyotes and I was like, you should have heard what set it off. And she's like, what set it off? And then it was literally like it responded to her. And I posted it, but you can't tell what it sounded like by that audio. It just sounds like it's like something like whispering over there. Like it's just crazy. It's crazy. But when we played it back, the first time when we played it back, standing right there, it was loud as hell. We were like, and then all of a sudden, it like the volume got super low. Jody, good to see you. Yeah, here on the island too, Tim. There isn't even coyotes, so we don't have really many predators. Like fox is the biggest predator, so we don't really have any here, which makes it like a cryptid playground. I'm gonna pull Mike back up. I think he's good to go. Okay. Hey.
Yeah,
All
all
right.
good.
Okay. Cool.
Yeah, sorry, I had to take that.
No, you're good, bro. I won't keep you too much longer anyway. Hey, man,
No,
what's up?
that's fine. There's no problem. I just
If you guys have any questions, let's take them now so that I always try to do that because there's so many. I'm not knocking nobody. Everyone has their own thing, style, whatever. Like I'm a space cadet. I don't really come with a plan. Like I just kind of keep it casual and shit. So um I always try to include you guys because you're here the whole time anyway. So if you have any questions, all right, here we go. First one's in already. Keely, welcome. It's nice to have you. Randy wants to know, do you have any new hotspots in the works for 2024?
which Mike is he
Probably,
talking
I'm assuming you.
because it's as far as myself, I got my spot with Neff and it's like I can go anywhere in the woods and anything can happen. Um, oh, I actually do some work with him.
Welcome in. Welcome in.
Hey Dan, how's it going, man? I was actually working with him today.
Awesome.
Um, it's like I can go anywhere in the woods and things can happen as I've been shown, right? Like I got a spot down not far from here, whatever, 10 minutes down the road that I like to visit sometimes. I went in there one night by myself. It was more in the summer, nicer weather. It was about 11 o'clock at night, and I found an area with a clearing so I could look up, watch the stars. And I had an audio recorder, and I put it down beside me, arm's length away, turned it on by myself, and it was weird. I felt this buzzing. My body started buzzing on only one side. It was on my left side, and I could feel something was there with me. And it was when I played it back, there's something that whispered. It was clear whisper. I just couldn't make out the words. And then something, physically touched the microphone, tapped the microphone. My hand wasn't on it, right? I've done this stuff for a long time, so I'm really good understanding the audio. So I walked into the woods at night by myself, threw an audio recorder down, and something showed its presence. I don't know what it was, if it was a Sasquatch or not, but heard from Neff lately. Yeah, we were like I was telling the story earlier. We were up there not too long ago, and I brought my nephew in. So A lot, I don't post a lot openly anymore. It's, I'm always digging through audio.
Yeah.
Um, it's the activity with Neff's family has always been there. It's been 10 years, 10 plus years now. It's very developed. It's when we're on location, they're with us. They're with us the entire time,
Right.
periodically showing their presence throughout the night. I come home with marbles pretty much every visit. There's pranks being done to us throughout the night. Ninyanin is very involved at this point. I think maybe once they hit a certain age, they're allowed to interact more, um, show more presence. I've heard his voice a couple of times, just little bits and pieces. Maybe that'll grow more too as he ages, right? I there's still so much I don't know about them. I found out Neff has a family, and I learned that asking certain questions about that, his own family, asking certain questions about that. No,
James.
I'm not.
James.
Uh,
Yeah.
no, no, I never. No, I always avoided that. Um, it's I learned asking certain questions is disrespectful, right? So there's been times I've pissed Neff off. There's been times I've you know disrespected asking certain questions, but you learn as you go, right? Um, do I think I'll ever have a sit down campfire with Neff? As far as them revealing themselves in the physical, which he has with those two headshots,
Mhm.
that I get so many people that oh, those are Halloween masks. It's people in their observation skills, they really lack, right? But that's really, he has shown himself a few times over the years, and it's been just it's there, he's there and gone, right?
Yeah.
um, the reason that I was invited in there in the first place was, when Dwayne's dad was alive, he the one of the last things, uh, not last things while he was still with us, but the last thing before I got invited in to investigate was, Bill there. He had sat up in bed. It was early in the morning, and there's I assume it was probably Neff standing there with his back to him out the window, right there, full on. And he sat up, and there he was, right? But yeah, visuals are rare, right? Has
Sure.
Neff ever introduced you or told you of other clans? No, although I think there is another family that lives behind me here in the woods here that have shown up. I've had a little one running around my tent, uh, adult walk up and tap my microphone and sniff it and all that, and it's like, well, that's not Neff's family. They don't do that, right? They don't sniff my microphone. Um, so there's been activity here. I believe Neff's family has visited me here, and they might periodically show up. Um, but yeah, there's not introducing me to other clans, but there are other ones definitely around that are aware of me too.
Yeah, no doubt. I mean, I guess technically Neff introduced you to all Sasquatch, right?
Um,
Well, as a whole. I mean, just like it was just a broad statement. Does Neff and his family migrate or do they stay in one place?
they've always been there. There's more to this.
Oh, did he freeze? Shit, did I do that? Oh. All right, my friends, hang on. Let me make sure we're still Yeah, we're still ticking. Okay. We are still ticking. Yeah, he froze. I'm gonna pull him down and then see if I'll keep an eye on it. I'm not gonna leave him up there all froze. Let him fix it. Do, do, do. All right, I think he went out, so he'll come back in if he can, obviously, right? So thank you all for being here. I appreciate it. He's married to Bigfoot. Uh, um, yeah, I think he was saying earlier. He's he goes through so much stuff that it's hard to like put it out on video, but Georgia in interview with Mike Adams from a few weeks ago. It was very informative and enlightening. Oh, that's awesome. Okay. Toby, good to see you, my brother. Hope you're doing well. Hope Lynn's is good. Leaning out of a tree and then they're gone again. Yes, I was on MT Paranormal Life last night with Mike Adams as well, and another guy, Ian, and it was good. It was a really good conversation. It's really interesting. So if you guys get a chance, definitely go check that out. I can't wait to go back and watch the beginning. Jody, I'm glad you came for a little bit at least. He'll come. I'm sure he'll figure it out. I'm not mad at it, honestly. Like I'm happy we made it this far. Seems like every time I've had him on, we've had an issue, and it is what it is. Like there's nothing I could do about it. There's nothing I could do about it. Yep, that's could be. You ever notice he always has issues, and it's not his Wi-Fi. I don't think it's like, yeah. Sometimes I think that's exactly what it is. I think that's exactly what it is. But I'm not a conspiracy theorist. Oh, cool. Thanks for lessons. I don't ever know who's in the chat when I'm a guest somewhere. I try to let the host run it. So I'll just sit there and wait for whatever pops up on the screen like this. So I maybe to a fault, maybe I should look in the chat. I don't know, but it's distracting to me, and then I might be reading the chat or I don't know. I see people do it all the time. They'll like be reading the chat, and like the host is like way back in the chat, and like you know what I mean. Oh, okay. Thank you, Chicken World. Okay, so that's gonna be it for tonight. But obviously, Mike, thank you for being here, bro. Really appreciate you. Appreciate everything you do for all of us. Obviously, you could tell people are excited about the next video. I'm sure he will get it to us as soon as he can. He does a lot of audio, so if you guys, I know I'm a member on his channel, and I know he puts stuff on the members only side. I imagine things are off the charts. Amazing for him. It's hard for him to describe to us. That's like with the Bigfoot. I hear you, bro. I wish we could tell him thank you in person, but I will text him later or tomorrow or whatever. Yeah, could be. I mean, shit. Thank you, Chicken Roll, by the way. Thank you. All right. Well, I won't keep you guys. Again, I mean, this was the coolest thing ever. This was the original cast. I'll put it up a little closer for you guys this time. This is it standing straight up. I mean, look how big that damn toe is. It's just crazy to me. It's massive. And that's a little guy, right? Like, that's a little guy. Look at Neff's toe. And that's like, and this is from 2013. That's crazy. It's crazy. I was putting my bare foot on this and like just trying to like vibe it out. Awesome. Awesome. Yes, thank you. It's not a theory when it's happening right in front of your eyes. No doubt. No doubt. Scott, good night, brother. Thank you for being here. Everyone. Yeah, he is OG. No doubt. Forrest Wren, thank you. Steve Wolf. Sherry, thank you. Friends with Monsters. Stargazer, thank you so much. Jody, Toby, Tar Heel, John P, Steve Wolf. Appreciate you. Paula, thank you so much. Good luck tomorrow, or I'll touch base with you. Montucker Strange, I will see you tomorrow. We're gonna go out in the fields for a little bit, hopefully. There's a lot of snow on the ground, but shit, it's not going anywhere. So we're gonna go get out there. I'm gonna take the truck out and just bang, bang, bang. Make it happen. Be grown. Thank you. Good to see you. Tina, great to see you. Thank you so much. Nightheart, good to see you. Welcome. Anita, thank you so much for being here. Elena, of course. David, good to see you, my friend. Glad. Yeah, it's all good. Hopefully it works out for him, bro. Thank you, Chicken World. Appreciate you. I hope it works out. They have a snowstorm going on as we speak, so I think there's about 6 inches on the ground, and like they're plowing and all sorts of shit. So it could be, could be a while before it comes back. All right, Pine Barrens. Oh yeah, we're going to Pine Barrens, no doubt. What the hell was that? Oh, Jane, thank you so much. Just saw PayPal. That's so weird. I didn't even know it would pop up on the computer like that. That was super weird. I guess it was an email. I don't know. I'm not used to this. So thank you so much for that. I appreciate it greatly, obviously. Okay. Thank you so much. Randy, thank you for being here. Tar Heel. Yeah, eventually, bro. Definitely. You'll see me before you know it. I could always come closer to you, you know what I mean? I could always come closer to you so you don't have to travel so far. But that was awesome. I was happy to meet you. All right, and then also thank you, Jennifer Paterson. Thank you, Truth is in the Background, and thank you, Tina. Appreciate you all so very much. Obviously, their super chats aren't, expected, but they're greatly appreciated. So thank you so much. Bears? Oh, not here. Our Pine Barrens is 100,000 acres. It's bigger, but that's like the main Pine Barrens. So Jersey Pine Barrens probably have bear. Yeah, we only get like once in a while one will swim from Connecticut, and then like they trap it. Like anytime there's a predator here, like they take it away. Still wouldn't mind talk to you about something that happened when you have. Okay, cool. Yeah, no doubt, bro. I probably spaced out on you, and if I did, I really apologize. Shit has been super busy. Like it's not an excuse. I just can't keep track of everything right now. I really can't. My shit's been going crazy. Maybe because it's winter. I don't know, but it's bananas. Can't keep up. Steve Wolf, probably. Something just came through. Thank you so much for that. Thank you, brother. I appreciate you. It has to be you. It has to be. Let me see. Let me just make sure. I don't want to. Yes, Steve, will appreciate you, my brother. Thank you so much, bro. And don't worry about it. We're glad to see you tonight. It's good to see you, my friend. Ninja Dave, appreciate you being here. Be grown. Thank you so much. Anybody else? I hope I didn't miss anybody on the way out. Thank you all so very much for being here. Obviously, thank you, Mike, for being here. Mike Paterson, Sasquatch, Ontario. If you guys don't know, go check him out. If you're here, you should be there because a lot of what we do here is been aided by him along the way. Just saying. He's been there for me since day one. And then even before that. So, blessings. Thank you all so very much. Until next time. Let me see if I can put one of these things up to close out. All right. It's a little skinny, but all right.